All right, well, let's close with this one. Number 14, Tennessee, 8-point favorite against number 24, NC State. This game in Charlotte. The over-under I have is 240 Tennessee rushing yards. Why 240? That sounds random, Connor. It's
It's
never
never
random.
random.
Ever. Sometimes it's random. Mostly never random. NC State let up 120 rushing yards in the opener to Western Carolina. Not great. I doubled that because Tennessee is at least twice as good at running the football as an FCS team, I would think. Even one who was within 3 points of NC State in the middle of the fourth quarter. Not a great showing. Not a great showing from a top 25 team in their first game without last year's Butt Kiss Award winner Peyton Wilson, who totally didn't rob Edgerrin Cooper of that award, but I digress. If I'm Josh Heupel, I'm listening to all this talk about Nico for Heisman. Peter Burns saying it. You got Booger saying that he was the best quarterback of anybody in college football week one. A lot of love for our man Nico Iamaleava. Okay? I'm listening to all of that. And I'm going, buddy, we're going to do what we do best, and that is run the football. We're going to put teams on their heels. We're going to spread them out, and we're going to run the football until they tap out. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get defensive linemen with hands on their hips. We're going to make them gassed, and we're going to treat this like a track meet. That is what they will do. But a track meet with the ground and pound approach. That's been the Josh Heupel MO. In a game like this, I think you have to be able to speed up what that's going to look like for an NC State defense that is just trying to show we're better than just losing somebody like Peyton Wilson. I think that's going to be an obvious game plan for Tennessee, and I think it's going to be a successful one. Have Nico hit a few of those shot plays, but if he ends up throwing the ball less than 25 times, it's not going to surprise me. I think this is a huge, huge Dylan Sampson game, like real big. He's going to get going in the passing game too. He was awesome in the opener. On the other side of the ball, you saw NC State in that season opener. Grayson McCall, one of the most experienced quarterbacks in all of college football. I feel like he's been playing college football since like the Bush administration. He was at Coastal.
He's been trying to escape Coastal Carolina since like COVID.
Poor guy, man.
Just
Poor
can't
guy.
get his transcripts
Like
right.
4-time Sun Belt Player of the Year, Grayson McCall.
He has like a Harold and Kumar style movie series of him trying to escape from Coastal Carolina. They just keep bringing him back.
It's like, it's not that bad. It's fun here. Remember the mullets? We enjoyed this. We had some good times. But Grayson McCall, I think you saw in that opener, he's still figuring out what this is going to look like in this system and in transitioning to NC State. This speed that I think he's been able to play out before. He's been really good as a decision maker. Like, he's had no shortage of defensive ends that he has had to read playing the type of offense that they played at Coastal. So I'm not necessarily saying that that's anything new to him or anything like that. I'm not sure there's a lot to read with James Pierce Jr. besides, is that guy in my grill or is he not? More times than not, he's in your grill.
You don't have time to read. He's just there.
Buddy, just react. Just go.
Exactly.
Just go. So I wonder about that matchup and what that looks like for him as they're facing a Tennessee team that I would imagine they're going to want to try and speed him up a bit. In the playoff era, Will, here are NC State's wins against AP top 15 teams. AP top 15 at the time of the matchup. 2017, they beat number 14 or number 12, Florida State, who, as we know, went on to crumble that year. Last year, the Jimbo Fisher era in Tallahassee, not particularly good. 2021, beat number 9 Clemson, who was a 9-3 team despite DJ Uyunglele being DJ Uyunglele. I am not picking NC State to win this game. Those are their only 2 wins against AP top 15 teams in the playoff era. That's not great. 10-year sample size. That's enough to me. And NC State's built itself into a really solid program and one that has seemingly been like that fringe top 25 team kind of on a yearly basis. At least it's felt like that. I will predict, however, NC State to cover because I think Kevin Concepcion, I think he kind of gets some of those chunk plays behind that Tennessee secondary that I have a lot of questions about. So I do think he has like a 2 or 3 touchdown game in which Tennessee's like still struggling to find those answers for him in the fourth quarter. But I'm going to go with Tennessee to win this one 34-28. So it's an NC State cover of that spread.
This game is so fascinating. So it's being played not at NC State Stadium, but at the Carolina Panthers Stadium.
Charlotte.
What's up?
I always say Charlotte instead of Charlotte because I think it just sounds better.
Yeah, that's fair. That's probably how it was intended. Yeah. So, like, point being, that does matter in terms of are you seeing a red crowd or you seeing kind of an orange and red crowd, and that was this game being in North Carolina would be kind of one of the bigger benefits for NC State because it feels like outside like we a lot of the Joe Milton hype was this guy can win pretty much any quarterback. He's won with an Old Dominion quarterback, whatever. He's won with anybody. That just happened to be the one quarterback he kind of couldn't figure out. Whatever. Yamaleave feels like he's exactly the quarterback that Josh Heupel wants. And I feel like when you juxtapose that with NC State, who like Dave Doran's a great coach, and he definitely like punches people in the face, and that's how he wins. And like that punch you in the face style should be what takes apart a team like Tennessee also should have happened with Iowa, to be honest. I mean, I know Grayson McCall is a great college quarterback. I know he can make a lot of the throws. I know he's really confident, brash, a lot of the things that we like about Texas. You could say the same thing there. But this is an NC State team that I just don't think offensively they have that same innovation that Josh Heupel does. And I think that the defense, and to be clear, their defense has been awesome, awesome. Like that's been the staple of their last. Their DC has been there 6 seasons, and like they've been a pretty solid at least defense every year. And it's really in the wins, the defense has really shown, and I understand that. And I also understand that Josh Heupel has struggled when he gets off his play script. Which we'll come back to that bit because with Ayamaleava, I think he's going to fix that. I think that the scripted play Josh Heupel like completely turning to dust with Joe Milton is not going to happen anymore because it didn't happen as much with Hendon Hooker. We keyed on it before the great season, but when Hendon Hooker grew up and was able to make plays with his legs, that's when it really started to equal out a little bit more. And I think that Ayamaleava in game one showed that he could do that. So he could keep plays alive with his legs, do that type of stuff. So I think that, this offense will be able to stay on the field because of that. And I think that because of their kind of boldness, I'm not as worried about them. And like, it's kind of one of those things with Josh Heupel where it's like, if he can't win with Amaleava and kind of like this cast of guys with Pierce, I feel like we're starting to get toward a little bit of the ceiling where it's like, okay, because that team that beat Alabama was special, special, special. I'm not taking anything away from that. He assembled a lot of that team. It was pretty early in his coaching career. But for this, it's like, we need to start seeing that. We need to start seeing them being a wagon coming to town, scaring people, not making it into like a tight, like a clinch fest in the third and fourth quarters as the other team kind of figures out the offense. So I think this could be a coming out party for Ayamaleava on the national stage, not like the Mississippi State one, where this could be the beginning of some type of championship DVD or the Ayamaleava kind of legend in the SEC. I don't think that NC State has the talent to actually stop that from happening. We're going to see how it happens in the SEC, but I do find myself trusting Josh Heupel in these moments now.
I do too. And I think you've had a lot of time to game plan for this one as well. Despite what coaches say, it wasn't just Chattanooga that you were prepping for. I think you've had plenty of time to be able to do your scouting on what this NC State defense is going to throw at you. NC State seems confident that they're going to be able to handle the tempo. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. Maybe they have moments where they do. Maybe Nico's going to have moments in which you kind of are reminded, yes, this is still as promising as this looks. This is still going to be a guy in his third career start, and there could be a growing pain moment or two, or where maybe he telegraphs a pick or something like that, or he tries to pick up extra yardage that's just not there, and he fumbles, or it's stuff like that is still going to be a part of this. Okay, it can still be incredibly good and feel like it's special, even if those moments happen. That's just natural. That's going to happen, but I do think that we're reminded Tennessee has a very clear offensive identity. And that is something that so many teams are striving to obtain. They can talk culture. They can talk, we're going to beat you in the trenches. We're going to do this, that, and the other. Tennessee has something that it can truly fall back on. And they know that the other team is going to have to adjust to what they are doing and not vice versa. In a game like this that I expect to be competitive is so beneficial. And I think Tennessee truly leans on that more ways than one. And I think that ends up being the difference. These are the moments where, as much as you appreciate having your superstar next Peyton Manning, Nico Iamaleava, as you're so beautifully pronouncing, I just love it, Will. You're doing it with your chest. I love it. You're going to appreciate the fact that you have this ground game and that you can scheme that well with that type of tempo and have this entrenched of an identity. So I think Tennessee wins this football game and gets a little bit of that early season momentum going that I think they need. They got to have that swagger going into this SEC schedule because it is a difficult one that they will face.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's gonna be about a 10 point win for Tennessee. I'm gonna say like high 20s to high 30s. Let's call it 28-38.
28-38. 38-28 or
Yeah, there
28-38?
we go. There we go. 38-28.